In a world full of noise, two voices rise above the chaos. Ron and Brian. They speak truth. They stir thought. They accidentally help. News, nonsense, and necessary self-care. Join the cult of Ron and Brian. Because the work is so important.
Welcome everyone to episode 367 of the Cult of Ron and Brian. We are back after a 1 week hiatus, which we will talk about later on in the show. Brian, you are looking well. You are looking beet red. I think the sun did a number on that nose of yours right there. But I can't even focus on your face because of the trucker cap on top of your lovely head. That is a solid piece of merch right there. Is that, correct me if I'm wrong, is that an official Cult of Ron and Brian trucker cap?
This is an official trucker cap, adjustable back. This is made in America. You've got the white front, you've got the black side and back. The bill is back, slightly padded just perfectly. But most important thing, Ron, is it's got this amazing logo that allows you, when you are wearing this hat, to say to your friends and tell them, hey, I support the cult of Ron and Brian, which at the end of the day is really, I think, the strongest message that you can send to your social network in a way that does that brings the political divide together. Because people on the left, people on the right, we all love the cult of Ron and Brian. And that's what makes this hat so special. Ron, I know that you told me originally that this was going to be a one-of-a-kind item. However, I'm hearing rumors that this is something that people might be able to obtain themselves.
I mean, all I can say to you is if you go to cultofronandbrian.myshopify.com or go to our Instagram bio, you might be able to get the coffee mug, the trucker cap. The trucker cap, I believe, also comes in navy blue. That's an awesome mug. Brian, did you get anything else while you happened to be there?
I did get something else, but I'm going to save it for another bit that we should have coming up momentarily.
All right. Well, then without much ado, let's get right into it with this week's Drink of the Week.
Drink of the Week.
Na zdrowie!
Salud!
Drink of the Week.
Sláinte!
Pause.
Drink of the Week. Drink of the Week. Drink of the Week. Drink of the Week.
Brian, what are you drinking this week?
This week, I reached out. I don't know if you can see it. It's a little shiny here.
Sharp.
You can see it now. The glare off my face is just so strong. This week, Ron, I went all the way up to Winooski, Vermont, visited the kind folks over at Four Quarters Brewing, and they hooked me up with Dalla Pils, which is their German Pilsner. The descriptions on the internet, very slim, nothing to really brag about. This is a 5.7 ABV beer. So it's a little bit higher in alcohol content than most of your German Pilsners. The kind folks over at Beer Advocate give it a score of 88. So I'm going to take a sip, but not just out of any mug. I'm going to take it out of my frosted Cult of Ron and Brian Drink of the Week pint glass.
That is sharp.
Also available on our website. Now, do we have the link? Can we run the link on the bottom of the screen? Do we have that or no?
Can give me
Damn
one
it, Matt.
moment while
Anyway,
we do that.
while that's going on, I'm going to take a sip. Ooh, Cameo, really? You're linking our Cameo? I think I'm the only one that ever signed up for a Cameo. So this is just a great pint glass. The logo is beautiful. It is just, it's put into the frosting, so you don't have to worry about it. That is a link. We need to update our website to include that as our new merch store. But I'm going to take a sip using this glass. Wish me luck.
I mean, it's a solid looking glass, even better in person than it looks on the web store. How does the beer taste out of it is the most important thing.
When I'm drinking a Pilsner, I'm expecting a crisp beer. This is not a crisp beer. This tastes, it has the muddiness of an IPA minus the hoppy aftertaste.
Okay.
I will drink this. I'm going to give this probably a 4.5 out of 10. We know the rules. One sip, everybody goes. Yeah, no, not digging it. Not digging it. There's like
Sorry
a
to hear that,
flavor
my
in there.
friend.
There's a flavor in there I'm not digging.
Ron.
Ron.
Yes.
Ron.
Yes, sir.
What are you drinking?
So a beer that I brought to the show before, but I felt in honor of our recent trip across the pond to the UK. This is from our good friends at Pinter, the Iron Maiden's Trooper Remixed. This is a 4.7% British Amber Ale. It is malt flavors and citric notes with a unique blend of hops. Give this a deep golden ale a subtle hint of a lemon, and clocking in at a subtle 4.7% in one of the old school Ron and Brian glasses. Now a collector's item because you can't get these anymore. But let me take a sip here, Brian.
Can't. Ron, take a deep sip. A deep.
So good. So refreshing. I mean, again, number one, it's from the good folks at Pinter, who we know are friends of the podcast, or at least 51% of the podcast. They make some great beers, and this is another one of it. So let me take another sip before we get into things.
Ron is taking another sip. I cannot believe that he's... Ron, is it because you're wearing the Philadelphia Phillies cap that you went back for the second sip to try to hide it?
Not. So I'm wearing the Phillies cap because we went to the Phillies game on Friday.
Right.
Not embarrassed to wear a Yankees hat, Janelle, but valid point, valid question. Yankees, incredibly frustrating to follow lately, but still the team. But had a good time at the Phillies game. We'll talk about that a bit if we have time later on.
Sure.
But in the meantime, it's time for Beef of the Week.
Ron and Brian's Beef of the Week.
Brian, what's bothering you this week?
This week, if I look back since the last time we did a show and I sit there and say to myself, what were the things that frustrated me the most, that made me sit there and say, this is not right? The answer, hotels in London, Ron. Hotels in London.
Okay.
I'm sure we will talk about our trip over across the pond. The reason why we missed this, the most recent last Sunday's episode. However, I was in London for just about a week and stayed in 2 different hotels. And I would like to explain to you the issue that I had with each of them. First hotel, lovely Hanbury Manor. The staff treated us so incredibly well. We were the stars of that hotel that weekend. Unfortunately, one of the problems of the Hanbury Manor, which is in Hertfordshire. I'm going to get yelled at some point.
There's a pillow coming your way, without a doubt.
I don't know that there's a pillow, but I feel like the door will be open, that I will just hear like Hertfordshire, like it'll just be pronounced perfectly with an posh accent. Anyway, but no air conditioning. This place does not have air conditioning in any of the hotel rooms. You would think that in the year 2025, where we are at least 25 years into the current climate change, global warming, whatever the terminology you choose to use, but the temperature of the planet is heating up. Things are not as cool as they used to be. Hanbury Manor has not decided to jump on the air conditioning bandwagon and decided that it is perfectly reasonable in the middle of August to put a floor fan in a room and somehow expect people to be cool. Oh, also here's another one. Most of the windows don't open. You could open just a couple of them in the room. Very little airflow. That is right off the bat. Right off the bat. Billy's right off there. Legitimately no air conditioning. In the hotel room, no air conditioning. Hallways, nice and cool. I almost at one point just left the windows open. Here, even Johanna says, no AC, windows open 3 inches max. So right off the bat, London hotel, number one, Hanbury Manor, no air conditioning in the room. So that, listen, Ron, you know me. I do enjoy my air conditioning. I have, when the weather gets above, like, I would say 68 degrees, I start to perspire a little bit. Little dabs.
On a good day, you're a sweaty man. On a good day. On an unseasonably warm day, like we had that Friday going into your wedding weekend, it gets a little even more damp.
Got so warm. After that hotel, it was such a lovely, lovely place, minus the air conditioning. We then go to a place called Down Hall Hotel, another splendid manor house. I believe that the Down Hall dated back to 1200 or 1300. So Hanbury Manor around the same. So we're talking these truly beautiful old manor style homes. Just built, the building just went on, and you realize it used to be somebody's home. Down Hotel, no elevators to get you from the lobby up to your hotel room. It's a labyrinth where you're walking upstairs. Keep in mind, I'm traveling for a week, and I've got luggage. I've got some heavy luggage. You know, Ron, you've traveled with me in the past. You know I like to pack warm. Lots of clothes. I don't know what I'm going to be.
Always in layers.
Yeah. Sweaters were brought. Long sleeve shirts were brought. So I've got I'm sitting there with a 50-pound suitcase, and I'm trying to figure out how the fuck am I getting this up 3 flights of stairs. These chicken arms, these little wings, they are not going. I can do it up 1 flight, maybe 2, but by the 3rd flight, I'm toast. So that was the complaint about Down Hall. No elevators. How do you not institute elevators at this point? Other than that, a lovely, lovely time was spent in England. But I got to say, the hotel situation, they got to improve it.
Just real quick, can you show your right arm again? Just lift it up into the screen. The other side. Flip it around. How is it you ended up with a reverse farmer's sunburn? Like, it seems like the upper. How did the upper part of your arm get sunburned, but the forearm not get sunburned?
I think because the forearm has already experienced more sun just from walking around in a short sleeve shirt.
Okay.
So today I sat out in the sun with no shirt on, just to let everybody know the beauty of it.
Oh my God! Oh, it's even worse. Oh my God, it's horrible. And the world was just blinded by the redness. Oh, you got some aloe, I hope.
Somewhere around here. Ron, let me ask you a question.
Yes.
What's bothering you?
So I will mirror your beef somewhat. With the Hanbury Manor, it was the hotel.
Yes.
But I think my beef is less with the hotel and more with Marriott. And this is what this is the thing as a hotelier. You've mentioned I'm in the hotel business, and we do business with Marriott. We have some franchised hotels with Marriott, and they are such sticklers with so many hotels. Like, for example, air conditioning, a must. I get it. It's an older hotel, but you can put splits in those rooms. You can put PTAC rooms in those in there. Also, typically with Marriott hotels, you have to renovate your hotel every 7 years.
Really?
I'm going to go out on a limb and say it's been more than 7 years since that hotel was renovated. I sat down in a chair in my room that I believe probably first was put in that room the year I graduated high school, roughly.
Hold on. Okay, not to disagree with your. I felt that added the character to the hotel. That it did not feel like a 1200 1300 building where it had modern fixtures and modern everything. I like the fact that it felt like you were stepping back in time. That was one of the things I actually liked about that hotel.
Brian, you ignorant slut. I did not like it.
Okay.
And then the outlet situation in the UK makes no sense to me. And I get it. It's a different electricity for some reason than America. But
they use more, from what I'm told, there is they use actually more powerful electricity than we do.
They do. Except in the
use
bathroom. That's the point that confused me. It's like you could not plug in a hairdryer in the bathroom because the outlet in the bathroom could only power a shaver. When was the last time you plugged in a shaver?
When was the last time I plugged in a shaver? Years.
Exactly. So it seems like, and I noticed that about UK in general. I've always heard UK nicknamed kind of the nanny state, and it feels like they have a lot of those type things in place to protect people. And yet, the hot water in the hotel could easily have burned your skin off. Like
correct. Oh, they had good hot water.
The hot water heaters were connected directly to the river Styx, I believe. So normally, like in the States, where we're not allowed to put our hot water heaters over 180 degrees. Clearly, Hanbury Manor, UK, didn't bother with that. But again, staff was lovely.
Everything was lovely.
Was lovely. Enjoyed my time over in the UK a lot, but we'll get to that in a little bit. But that was my beef, Brian.
Was just a hotel, or how was the other hotel? Because after you left Hanbury Manor and you went somewhere, you went more to central London. What was your hotel situation there?
Fantastic. And so I had been directed by my lovely wife after checking in that Friday at that Hanbury Manor. She said, "You make sure the hotel we're going to in London has air conditioning." So it did. And listen, the room small, but I think you expect that in a major city. But air conditioning on point, location fantastic, staff wonderful, and just London's a very easy city to get around.
Yeah. Well, are we talking? Have we moved on from your complaint?
I have. I mean, if we want to, we can hold on stories of the week for a bit. If you just want to talk about your wedding.
Let's talk wedding.
All right.
Let's talk wedding. Listen, right off the bat, for those that have been paying attention to the show, my lady and I, we got married officially in the eyes of the United States of America back in April. On April 15th, we went down to City Hall. We decided that was going to be our American visit to the officiants of the state. You know me, I don't like following governmental rules. No, I like to do what I want. I don't believe the government
you don't
should
fill
tell
out
me.
applications, you don't apply for permits, none of that is in your repertoire.
No, you give me a permit form, I sign my name at the bottom and I toss it back to you and say, fill it out for me. Kind of person I am. So we got married here at City Hall back in April. My lady's sister and family were over. 6 of us went down to City Hall. 2 of us got married. What a beautiful time it was. However, the truth of the matter was there were a lot of people on the other side of the pond in London, on my lady's side, who wanted a ceremony, who were clamoring for a ceremony. So we decided, you know what? Let's throw ourselves a party in London. It was an extravaganza, if you would. What was that look for? I didn't really.
No, it was. It wasn't like it was. There was. It was, I think, and I think, you know, a number of people mentioned it was the social event of Europe for 2025.
Sure. So we did the Hanbury Manor, which is a, probably, what did I say? It was almost a 900-year-old building, probably, or parts
Yep.
of it. You could clearly see that it was multiple buildings that had been connected, different entrances. You could easily get lost in that building. She had everybody show up on Friday. It was a couple of us went out for dinner as a rehearsal dinner. Ron, you were the star of the rehearsal prior to the dinner. You held it down. You gave everybody a sense that you were kind of gonna run the show. You were gonna keep me in check. You were going to ensure that I did everything at my that my queen wanted to do when she wanted me to do it. Then we went out for dinner. After that, went back to the hotel. Basically, took over the bar. Took over the bar area. There was probably, I would say, 30, 40 people in the bar.
Had some pints, as they say over there.
Several pints were going down. I think I was drinking Stella, which is a fine British beer. They.
I think it's Dutch, possibly.
Probably. And then Saturday morning, we just woke up, perspiring heavily. Literally sat at the desk in my room, just inches away from the fan, and just had the fan blowing on me while I sat on my phone on TikTok, just scrolling through. But I just had to just ensure that the whatever warmth was coming off my body needed to stop. So I got dressed, wearing
and
a nice.
Saturday was a cool day compared to Friday. Like Saturday was the perfect day for this event.
Once I stepped outside of the hotel, it literally felt like 15 degrees cooler. My lady, listen, she put together, and I give her all the credit. This was all her doing. I apologize for ever sitting there offering opinions, because ultimately she was right on all of them. We had a very lovely ceremony, and officiant from the local, town hall, city hall area came down, or it just really went through a very nice ceremony. Her parents were there, family, my sister, niece, nephew, all came out close. Ron, you were there with the missus. It was, it really was a splendid time.
I was especially happy to see one of our Patreon subscribers, Johanna. Showing up. Surprised she brought Matt Beaker to the wedding. Did not know they knew each other, but it was good to see that Matt was able to make it to the event.
If I remember correctly, he did say that the cocaine in London was some of the best in the world, which is why he said he came over not for the wedding, but really just went over there so that he could do cocaine. Very disappointing.
Yeah.
Then we had a lovely ceremony. Then we rented a coach, which is what people call it over there. We call it a bus over here. Took a bus ride down from the Hertfordshire area down into London, East London, I guess you could call it, where we had a 12-course Chinese banquet meal. Ron, tell us, what were your thoughts on the Chinese banquet?
I feel like we could have snuck a few more courses in there. 12 seemed a little light.
You really think so?
No, it was. I mean, when you start off, when your first course is roast suckling pig,
Sure.
and it's going to be a good meal. Nothing better than taking that crispy pig skin.
Sure.
I mean, there was Peking duck, there was seafood fried rice, some abalone. What were the crab balls?
They do is they take a crab claw,
right,
and then they put some kind of breading around it. They pack some more seafood inside of it, and then they fry it up. So it literally looks like it's in the shape of like a ball. Looks like a Scottish egg, if you would, from the outside. Right. But you see the edge of the crab claw coming out. And then it is, once you get through the very thin layer of breading, it is a massive crab meat. I mean, you've just got so much crab meat for each one of those.
I would say not something I've had before, but delicious.
Oh.
Probably one of my favorite items of the evening.
Sure.
Noodles, the
Lobster.
desserts.
Don't forget the lobster.
Oh,
Don't
the
forget the
baked
lobster. The baked lobster, which is just
we had like a crispy chicken. It was just course after course after course just coming out.
Yes.
The drinks. Your mother-in-law, wonderful woman by the way,
Sure.
big-hearted. Up and at every table, making sure
What she
I almost
does.
thought she was Italian for a second. You're not eating enough. You're not drinking enough. Everybody at this table needs drinks. Everybody at this table needs to fill their plates. And she was working all the tables in the room.
We don't know when that woman ate because I don't think I saw
didn't
her.
see her sit down.
I saw her sit down for about 3 seconds. By the way, also will say you gave a splendid best man speech.
Well, thank you.
It was funny. It was sincere. It was genuine. And it really, I felt like it really captured the essence of our friendship, and at the same time, really kind of just brought to the surface just how I was making the right move with this woman, and how she is making a terrible move with me.
I was trying to figure out a way of including that in the speech, basically saying that your wife was marrying down, but it felt like, unnecessary in the speech. But yeah, I stressed myself out over that speech, so I'm glad.
Sure.
It seemed to be well received by
very
by
much
the
so.
crowd,
Very
and
much so.
I'm glad you enjoyed it as well. It was
Yes.
my honor to be your best man, without a doubt.
Who else could it have been? And then there was dancing. We had a live singer. Night started to get a little hazy at the end. I'm not going to lie.
I think it got a little hazy before the end.
I do believe that the better part of 3 bottles of Macallan were disappeared only by a handful of gentlemen.
Yes, I believe you and Mike, and trying to think who else.
I know James was hitting it hard. Also.
Oh yeah. And that was the other thing that I found very enjoyable about the evening is your in-laws were all delightful as well.
Yeah.
Just a good meshing of families and dynamics.
It's a good family. Yep, it's a good family. I'm moving in. I'm moving into. I think they like me too, which is the very strange part. But I'm so glad that everything went well. I'm so glad you were able to join us. Because how did you spend your time in London afterwards?
So Sunday we left the hotel. We moved down to London. Couldn't check in right away, so I was told that we needed to. We're going to take a walk. We walked. I want to say roughly 8 miles. That first day, that Sunday, walked over to Big Ben Parliament, just so we could say, "Look, kids, Big Ben Parliament." Beautiful area again. And then stumbled upon the National COVID Memorial Wall, which was not aware it was there. Probably one of the most heartbreaking things I've ever seen.
Really? Why?
Have you seen it?
No.
So it is. It's there's the walkway along. I believe that's the River Thames by Parliament there.
Mm-hmm.
So it's across the river from Parliament. You go down, and there are just thousands and thousands of red hearts painted on this wall, running around. If I had to take an estimate, probably a good 100,000 red hearts painted on there. And then people could write inside the hearts people that were lost and their loved ones that were lost during COVID. And we're reading these, and there were some big hearts for people that lost 3, 4, 5 family members during COVID. But I think the one that got me the most was one that had very clearly been written by a child. And it said, "I miss you, Grandma." And I was like, Jesus. No, good question, Billy. No statues of refrigerated trucks. We walked along the river. They had like a river market there. We went down to Borough Market, which is one of the big tourist attractions there with shops and restaurants. Then we walked over to the London Bridge, because my lady thought the London Bridge was the fancy bridge. It is not. London Bridge
It is not.
very boring.
People think it
Very
is, but it is not. Correct.
So then we walked to Tower Bridge, which is
That
the
is-
one that she was thinking about.
Yes, yes. Boy, you sounds like you guys really got around.
We hiked around and trying to think, I forgot where we did dinner, but along the way, like we did a scone workshop one day. So I now can make proper English scones right here in the comfort of my own home.
My lady has already put in a request next time we come down there with clotted cheese, I think.
Clotted cream. Excuse me.
Clotted cream.
Which I now know what that is. I had no idea
some
what
kind
that
of
was.
jelly or jam. I think
Strawberry
that's what she
jam.
Also, yes. So you're going to have you're going to have some living up to, because there are some expectations.
Jam, then cream, just like the queen, as they say.
Ew. Okay.
Because the question was, because clotted cream is almost like butter. So it was like, do you put the clotted cream on and the jelly, or do you put the jelly and the clotted cream? And apparently that's a little saying over there.
All right.
But we did a pub crawl, which was fantastic. I mean,
what was the pub crawl like? I've never done that.
So we met a guide. He took us to, I want to say 4 or 5 pubs, and he just told us some of the history of the area, some of the history of the pubs. Bought a beer at each. Got some cask beers, which are, not a lot of people like cask beers because they're kind of room temperature at best.
Yeah.
But the beer scene over there, fantastic. What the hell else did we do? We did an afternoon high tea, of course. What's that?
Well, what was the afternoon tea like?
It was interesting. So we did it was called a science afternoon tea because it had like a science theme to it. Like there was dry ice and syringes and cocaine. I mean, it was very, very avant-garde, but yeah, it was enjoyable. The food in London, fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
We went to see MJ the musical. Not my choice, somewhat problematic, but I will say this: the theater experience in London much better than the theater experience on Broadway.
How so?
So first off, we got 2 seats for an evening show of the musical. Bought a round of drinks at the beginning. Then at intermission, bought ourselves some ice cream. So the 2 tickets, drinks, ice cream, combined, less money than a single ticket to a Broadway show.
Really?
And the theater seats were comfortable, wide. Like it was a much more positive experience, I would say.
That sounds amazing. I keep asking my lady to take me to a show over there. She is just not. One of the things I know for a fact that the thing I like about the London theater, is that they tend to get shows prior to Broadway. So they're getting show, so they've got, they're trying things out. They're testing the show before they can bring it over to Broadway. And then the second thing is, like you said, the prices. The arts are subsidized by the government.
Yes.
There. People complain about, when you go over there, like, they're taking so much of your tax money and so much taxes, but it's going towards the arts. Like it's going towards, the government is actually putting it towards things that are useful and helpful to people, not just the industrial military complex. And the billionaires getting tax breaks. So it's so you actually you see some value there. I mean, let's face it, ticket prices are one of the things that keeps me from going to Broadway shows more often. It's just so expensive.
So we went out to a pug cafe. That was my wife's choice. We took the train out to Hackney. Interesting little suburb. And got to pet a lot of pugs. Trying to think. I think that was the bulk of it. Did some shopping. There's a lot of great shopping there. But the Tube, very easy to get around.
Yeah.
Food seems
very straightforward.
The people, ridiculously nice.
Yes.
Everyone ridiculously apologizing to you for things that they don't need to apologize for.
Mm-hmm.
Like just overly pleasant. Like our first walk, when we couldn't check into our room, we walked down to a coffee shop. My lady got like a matcha thing, and I ordered a chai tea latte. And the woman goes, "Oh, I'm sorry, we're out of chai tea." So I'm thinking, no big deal. Just make me a cappuccino or something. She's like,
Mhm.
I'm going to refund that, and I'm going to give you your cappuccino for free. All right. Didn't need to do that, but
Yeah,
appreciate it. So, but
we've
everybody was like that.
yeah, we have gotten so used to poor customer service here in
Yes.
America that when you actually do, when you're actually reminded of what customer service is like, you're just stunned by it.
Yeah. But overall, 2 thumbs up for London. I would say if there are 2 things that I would knock for London, number one, their money's confusing. You know, you've got £2 coins, £1 coin.
Sure.
I actually had much more money than I thought I did because I got all this coin in my pocket.
Mhm.
And I will say, if you're not taking the tube, if you're taking taxis and Ubers, cost of transportation is high.
Sure.
Like if you're going 2 miles, it's $20. But
Sure.
the tube is so efficient. I don't know. Again,
But also
we took it,
keep in mind, also keep in mind they charge for cars going into central London. You know how like we
True.
have the
The
congestion
congestion price.
pricing here in New York City that everybody's up in arms about. They've been doing that in London for years. So that's why I think transportation is more expensive in the areas you were going was because you were in central London. So they
Right.
were probably hitting you with that congestion pricing each time.
But overall, I would highly recommend it. Not a fan of the flight, but it is what it is. It's 7 hours, and you just deal with it.
Did you do premium economy, business class? Like what were we talking here?
We did premium economy on the way over. I was able to get that upgrade for whatever reason. So it was weird. I bought this ticket through Expedia that then went through this company called Iberia. So we ended up with a flight on British Airways over, but a flight on American Airlines back.
Sure.
We were able to upgrade the flight over. My ticket coming back was not eligible for an upgrade.
Okay.
And it's like, well, we're willing to pay you money for like a bigger seat. But thankfully,
Sure.
We didn't have anybody sitting next to us. So we had an empty seat. So yeah.
Very nice. So that worked out very well.
Yes.
I'm so, it makes me so happy to hear that you and the lady had a good time over there.
And the wedding, I will say, the wedding ceremony, beautiful. I mean, you can certainly see, air conditioning aside, these things happen. The room was beautiful. The staff was fantastic. The food was great. The tea ceremony was cool. Had never had a chance to see that before.
Sure.
And yes, you could definitely see the amount of work that your wife put into all of this.
Yep. Now, did you see the work I put in or no?
I saw the work you put in
Because the work is so important.
You put in a lot of work to not really know what was going on. You had to work hard to have the level of disconnect that you did at some parts of the way.
That's not true. There was no levels of disconnect. I knew what was going on. The only time I genuinely was flummoxed was when my lady announced at the rehearsal that you were going to give the toast.
Imagine how I felt this entire time. I'm assuming I'm giving a speech and then you're going to do the speech and do the toast. And then it's like, no, you are no longer the opener, Ron. You are now the headliner.
I thought her father was going to give the toast. So that's she obviously upgraded you, which I think you should take as a compliment, my friend.
I believe me, I do. For her to, number one, have promoted me that way, and number two, she didn't vet my speech at all.
Mm-mm.
She was just going on faith that it wasn't going to be a train wreck of some sort.
I know. I mean, oddly, I will say this about you: when needed, you do step up. We know this about you. You do step up. You do step up. Ultimately, I just want to say I thank my queen, thank my lady, thank the wife. She put together just an incredible day. I thank all those that traveled. And it was a great time. Great special time.
I will say another thing, and again, this is not anyone's fault, well, except maybe our country's. It was very interesting to hear from people because it was really an international affair. You had obviously people from Europe, from Spain,
sure,
Italy, China, Hong Kong. It was interesting to hear that people's impressions of the United States abroad are as bad as we would expect them to be.
Worse, actually worse.
Yeah.
Worse, family members sitting there saying, we are not going to come visit you because we're
Right.
afraid that we're going to just be captured at the border and sent back.
Right.
We
Like
won't be
people
let
saying
in.
like, oh, my son was going to go over, but now I don't feel comfortable because
Yeah.
of his skin color. And
Yeah.
it's sad. And everyone said, like, what happened? America used to be, the land of opportunity. And now they don't feel that way.
Yeah. And the thing is, it's even if there's a change in the administration 3 years from now, or 3.5 years, whatever you want to call it, irreparable damage is being done.
Sure.
That will take generations. I'm not going to say, oh, it's all over, the American empire, done. But it's like you're talking about people whose entire generation, their entire perception of America has been irrevocably damaged, and it's going to take decades
Right.
of the opposite type of behavior to get it back.
Well, and I think the statistics that I've heard is that this year alone, the United States will lose $12.5 billion of international travel.
But that's fine because we're making it all back on the tariffs.
That's right.
We're making
That's
it
right.
all back on the tariffs. The amount of money we are collecting in tariffs is going to more than make up for the foreign investments that were being lost in the tourism industry. So it all works out, Ron. It all works out.
But there was also a lot of stories this past week about parts of Spain, like Barcelona. I know a place.
Barcelona, I've been there.
But how locals have complained so long and so hard about tourism that they have driven tourists away, and now their cities are struggling because the tourists aren't coming. So people didn't realize how much the tourists were subsidizing, their way of life.
Listen, I live in New York City. I know how important the local economy is in terms of tourism. I know that there's a lot of people, that I am friendly with who, complain about the tourists. I've got coworkers who sit there and, when they're outside the office, will sit there, these fucking tourists. I know.
Sitting on the steps, relaxing, like people will just go off on that.
You've got these, you've got money that is being brought from other parts of the country, of the world, being brought to New York. Money is being spent, restaurants, hotels, tourist attractions. That money is staying and being put into the local economy. So I know how important it is for tourists. Sure. Does it frustrate me every now and then when I'm trying to walk up Broadway to go to the train station? Sure. But I also know that it's a lot better when there are tourists spending money than when they're not. I realize this. It's important.
There you go. You're a wise man. Well, let's put a pin.
Absolutely.
And get to some stories before we run out here. Primarily our stories of the week. As everybody knows, we've got some stories that we like to make sure we grab, make sure they don't fall through the cracks. Brian, what is your story of the week this week?
Listen, we've spent so much time talking about Europe, talking about Americans in Europe. Why would I not continue that trend with my story of the week? If you've been on social media this past week, you probably know what I'm about to talk about. And it is a video that has gone viral of an American tourist in Italy. I forgot which town she was in. I believe it's Venice. An American was traveling through Venice with her family. There was a slight little commotion that took place around them. Suddenly, she realizes that her purse has been stolen. Purse containing her wallet, containing her AirPods, containing her passport has all been stolen. She has become the victim of a pickpocket, if you would. Now, that's something that you hear very often when overseas is, make sure you put your wallet in your front pocket because the pickpockets, they'll come after you. I've never seen that in London. I never felt unsafe in London or
as James said to me, keep your wits about yourself.
Yeah. But listen, you grew up New York adjacent. You're now Philly adjacent, but you understand, listen, you are a major metropolitan person. You understand how important it is to just understand where you are. My point is, in this story, this woman, I don't believe we have her name. She gets stolen. Oh, here we go. Karis McElroy is the daughter. Her mother was on vacation in Venice with her stepdad, soon realizes that her backpack has been unzipped and her purse containing her credit cards, cash, passport is missing along with a water bottle. What does this woman do? And this is where the whole scenario changes. This woman flips the script on the pickpockets. She pulls up on her phone the Find My Friends app. I assume you Android folks have something similar, because what she did was she pulled up her AirPods, her Apple headphones, and found their location, followed the location until she identified 3 girls who she had seen previously, who she had tracked down, grabs one of the girls by her ponytail and literally will not let go, shouting at this girl, "Give me my stuff back and I will let you go." This girl starts screaming bloody murder. Literally, the beautiful, if you haven't seen the video, go find it on social media. Just look up Venice pickpocket American mother. Literally says, "Kid, there is nothing you can do right now that's going to make me let go of your hair. I've got 8 children at home and I've put up with their nonsense. I'm not going to put up with yours." Literally holds on to this girl, and this girl has her friend standing right next to her. The two of them just start freaking out. I guess they're not used to pissed off Americans,
Right?
Which I find just wonderful. Not that they're used to just pickpocketing people and having the victims go, oh well, I guess I lost my stuff. No,
bully on you. You've got me this time.
Literally holds on to this woman. Moral of this story: this is how you handle crime, because this woman gets back her wallet, her passports, her credit cards, her AirPods. They all suddenly manage to appear and are returned to this woman. I do not believe the police even got involved. And it's amazing because you've got all these Europeans who are sitting there telling Americans, be careful of the pickpockets when you come here. Be careful of the pickpocket. The truth of the matter is, when Americans go to Europe, they need to be afraid of us.
Pickpockets need to be afraid.
I don't think Europeans understand just how pissed off the average American is. We are willing to throw down at anything. So don't fuck with us. Do not fuck with us. Ron, what's your story of the week?
Well, real quick, because I don't want to hop off of your story. But
okay.
There's been 2 things. Number one, it brought back apparently stories which I don't think made it over here during the Paris Olympics, where apparently the media over in Paris started asking the American people to stop beating up on their pickpockets.
Really?
I believe the term they used was, "Please stop mollywopping our pickpockets. Let the police do the job." But also a ton of TikToks this week about, a European getting pickpocketed, which would be like, oh, well, I'll go buy myself another. And the Americans where, it's like, I got $24 and a crumble cookie validation in that wallet, and I will fuck you up for it.
I saw a great TikTok analysis where somebody said, you have to understand, this is our B team. This is America's B team that we're sending over there. Our A team, our top tier Americans, all have a criminal record. They're not going to be allowed in other countries. They are, they're not eligible for a passport. They can't afford to get on a plane and fly over. That is our A team. Those are the people that the pickpockets should really be afraid of. So the people that are traveling overseas, this is the B team at best. This could be C team, but this is the B team. These aren't the true fuck up, I will fuck you up Americans. Those people are still here.
You get a middle-aged housewife from a flyover state who has to take care of all of her kids and her husband, who's a child himself, hasn't had an orgasm since the Reagan administration. You're going to piss her off, and she's going to be like, oh, I've been waiting for this.
Oh, yeah.
I've been waiting years to take out this aggression.
Just the fact that she, somehow tracked these girls on the streets of Venice and was able to get them and she got all of her stuff back.
Yeah.
Just a genius story. Just a
It's a feel-good
genius
story of the week.
Yes,
My
absolutely
story,
feel good.
my story, much more American, where a school district, this is in Michigan City area schools in Indiana, had to cancel in-person classes this past week after staff discovered that all of the school buses for the school district had their catalytic converters stolen.
Ooh.
So because they couldn't drive the buses, the theft forced students into remote learning. They are trying to track down the thefts, but in the meantime, the schools were remote for a couple of days while they replaced the converters. So it doesn't get much more American than that, personally.
Mm-hmm. It's a shame.
What are you going to do?
Well, I mean, listen, what is it about the catalytic converters that make them so desirable for thieves? Do you have any idea?
So apparently, they are composed of valuable metals, most usually platinum, as well as palladium and rhodium. So they can get anywhere from $500 to $900 on the open market.
Really?
So
I had no idea. I had no idea.
This was 21 buses. That's a pretty good payday for somebody.
Sure. Gosh. Geez.
Maybe we should let the pickpockets in Europe know it's a much safer, easier, more profitable crime to steal catalytic converters than to try and pickpocket Americans over there.
Maybe we should. Maybe we should be sending over our used school buses for them to deal with.
Then you won't have to worry about getting mollywopped.
Mollywopped,
which is
we'll take it.
A great saying. Let's go. Since we talked about British Airways, this was another great story. A British Airways flight attendant was found naked and high on meth in the bathroom of an airplane headed over to Heathrow Airport. Hayden Pentecost, who we have a photo of here, he was an on-duty flight attendant. Again, he had methamphetamine and amphetamines in his system when he was supposed to be attending to passengers on a flight traveling from California to London. He was sweating and babbling in flight and appeared to be agitated. He had to be removed from his duties by his manager when he failed to assist with any pre-flight safety checks. He then locked himself in one of the bathroom stalls, saying that he suffered from cramps and needed to change his clothes, only for one of his coworkers to later discover him naked and incoherent with dilated pupils and a high heart rate.
Well, maybe it's a good thing you didn't fly British Airways on the way back.
Maybe so. So he was fired, obviously, and pled guilty to performing an aviation function while impaired by drugs. He was granted bail and is awaiting sentencing at Isleworth Crown Court.
That sounds actually kind of fancy.
And you had said, I believe the reference you made when I told you I was flying British Airways is you referred to them as the Spirit Airways of Europe, and I think that story kind of brings that home.
I actually thought very highly of British Airways until we started taking it. When I was
before you flew it, before you actually used British Airways, you thought very highly of it.
When I was still living in Queens, we would fly out of JFK when going over to London. It was just so much more convenient. And what I remember consistently was you would buy a ticket for British Airways. The flight would be there. You would pick your seat. And then 2 days before the flight, they would send you an email. By the way, this flight has now become American Airlines flight. Here's the number. And your seat now is totally shit. Like they would just, I don't know how it would work out, but next thing I know, we're flying American Airlines. And if I'm going to England, I'm not flying American Airlines. I'm just not. You're absolutely insane. And then the British Airways was just, it was slightly better than American. Minus, of course, I never had the true pleasure of having one of my stewards high on naked in the bathroom. And, you always want that.
Always. Well, let's go to New York, Brian, New York City, where you had to
Uh-oh.
move out of because it was the
Had to
wild,
leave.
wild west.
Had to
A
leave.
longtime ally, advisor, and fundraiser for New York Mayor Eric Adams was suspended from his reelection effort after she tried to hand a local journalist a cash-stuffed potato chip bag.
Mhm.
Winnie Greco was outed by local news organization The City for trying to give cash tucked inside of a Hers sour cream and onion ripple potato chip bag to one of its City Hall reporters after a campaign event Wednesday afternoon in Harlem. Does this
Ooh, that's
surprise
not a
you?
good look. Listen, the woman is of Chinese descent, if I remember correctly.
I believe so, yes.
And she basically explained that the giving of cash in a red envelope, Ron, you're very familiar, recent
Yes,
attendant.
I
Chinese
saw the
wedding.
red envelopes at the
This
wedding.
is
Yeah.
something. This is just something that Chinese people do as a way to thank each other for being in each other's lives. And the very fact that it was inside of a Hers sour cream and onion potato chip bag, just mere coincidence.
Also tradition in the Chinese. Now, interesting. Japan, they will use Utz chips. Korea,
Sure,
waffles, of course. So, but hers, Chinese all the way.
Of course, correct. Listen, Mayor Adams has had a rough year or so. He looked to be a shoe-in for reelection. Unfortunately, the Biden-controlled Department of Justice started to go after him. There were claims of, favoritism being doled out towards the Turkish embassy, being fast-tracked for building permits, building approvals. Billy knows all about this kind of stuff.
Sure.
And in exchange for monetary donations from Turkish business leaders in New York. So the kickbacks, it was political bribes, gifts. Several people in the Adams administration have been arrested for taking monetary gifts. And he's not even running on the Democratic Party ticket. He's been banished to, I think, running on a third party.
I think
thinks
he's doing,
he can win.
An independent or
yeah. Thinks he can win. We know he can't.
All right. Next up, Wallet Hub recently put out its rankings for the best states to live in. And you, Brian, got to give you a pat on the back. Your state, New Jersey, came in third on the list, with New York holding its 9th place ranking from last year, and Pennsylvania coming in at 10th. Massachusetts came in first, Idaho second. But you live, apparently, according to Wallet Hub, in the 3rd best state to live in the United States.
Do you sound surprised?
So this is what surprises me. Where New Jersey ranked the highest, where they got the most points on this, was in education and health and quality of life. New York first in quality of life, but 47th in affordability. But New Jersey ranked even lower. New Jersey was 48th in affordability.
Yeah, we don't listen. There's a reason. If you can't afford Jersey, stay the fuck out of New Jersey. Ron, where does Philadelphia land?
Well, Philadelphia, Brian, you ignorant slut, is a city, not a state. And as I said, Pennsylvania came in as 10th. Quality of life 5th. Where we really tank was our education and health, and our economy. Our economy came 35th, really? The lowest economy rank out of anybody in the top 10.
Now, is that because outside of Philadelphia, the entire state is just kind of moribund?
I would say you've got Philadelphia and the county around it. You've got Pittsburgh and the county around it. And then it's primarily
Pittsburgh's
agriculture.
a 4th tier city. Let's be honest. Pittsburgh is a 4th tier city. It's not second tier, maybe third.
A valid point. We are a Commonwealth. Thank you, Johanna. So technically, we are the number 1 commonwealth in the United States? Because I don't see Virginia in the top 10 here.
Knock it out. Take it out.
Let's see what the worst states. Let's see if you can guess. What were the bottom 5, do you think?
I'm going to go Alabama, Georgia, West Virginia. I'm going to say Missouri. I'm going to throw in there, and maybe in Arkansas.
So you got a lot. All of those are basically in the bottom half. The bottom 5: Alaska, Mississippi, Arkansas, Louisiana, and coming in dead last, New Mexico.
New Mexico's dead last. I'm surprised about that.
And they get beat up on education and health, where they are 48th, and quality of life is 30th. I mean, nothing's really
terrible.
Great, it seems. Yeah,
that's terrible. All right.
West Virginia, second in the affordability rank. I will say that, because it doesn't cost much when you're making crystal meth.
No, crystal. All you need is some Sudafed and some batteries.
So real quick, I kind of talked to you about this earlier. Going to the Phillies game on Friday night, my wife and I did. And so a couple of quick questions about baseball etiquette. Sure. Number 1, how many times in a game do you think it's acceptable to get in and out of your row? At what
3.
point does it become 3? Okay. So more than 3, excessive, you would agree.
Because think about this. 1, you're going to go get food.
Right.
Then you come back. You probably go to the bathroom. Then you're going to get one more trip out, a beverage. Maybe you're going to go get some ice cream. Those are the 3 trips you're allowed to make.
So
no
when you get to 10 or 11, would you say that's when you're really starting to annoy the people around you?
Absolutely unacceptable. Nobody should be at that point. You either combine your trips, you go to the bathroom, and then you get ice cream, and then you go sit down, or you just stay outside. Nowadays, most stadiums have very nice concourse area where you can if you're not really interested in sitting in your seat and you kind of want to enjoy the stadium as a whole, you can socialize there. Unacceptable to get up 10 times.
All right. Next question. Getting in and out of your seat during an inning, acceptable or unacceptable?
Frowned upon, but you don't know what's going on in that person's life that causes them to have to get out. I will say this. Sometimes if I have not emptied my bladder and I start to get this is going to happen, I'm going to have to get up regardless of whether it's in the middle of the inning or not.
All right, I'll go even deeper than that.
Sure.
Acceptable in the middle of an at-bat.
Doesn't matter. If it's an emergency, you're going to get up and go. Do you understand that you're annoying people? Yes. Do you prefer that you get up at the end in between innings? Yes. But if it's a bathroom emergency, it's why you got to go.
All right, fair enough. And then I guess this is more, I consider you the baseball purist of the show.
I'll take it.
Obviously the Phillies at the trade deadline, they picked up Johan Duran from the Twins.
Mm-hmm.
He is their closer. Have you seen his entrance when he comes in?
It is the story of Major League Baseball this season. Is the way the Philly fans have embraced this new closer of theirs. It's one of the most electrifying, I imagine, entrances in baseball today.
Is it, in your opinion, too over the top?
It is. I find it unnecessary. No. I felt like the apex of entrances was Mariano Rivera coming in to Enter Sandman by Metallica. Manager comes out, goes up here, bringing in the righty. Everybody knew what was going to happen. We all kind of lowered we stopped making noise. Suddenly the music starts. Suddenly you see Mariano charge out from the bullpen. The place goes crazy, but it's not let's dim all the lights in the stadium. Let's circles it is a tad much, but I'm also going to say this to you is that as of today, you've got the entire country talking about this guy's entrance.
Right.
Nobody is talking about the entrance for whoever is playing for the Oakland A's. You know, when their closer comes in, nobody in this country is talking about it, but we're all talking about the Philadelphia Phillies. Joan Duran. Close
and
enough.
what's also interesting is now the local stations have stopped going to commercial breaks between the bottom of the eighth and the top of the ninth, so they can show his entrance. What was also interesting today, it was a save situation. I think the Phillies were up by like 2 going into the top of the ninth, but they didn't bring him in because he'd already pitched the last 2 days. And the people, the feedback on social media from people that had gone to the game hoping to see this entrance, they were pissed off because he wasn't put into the game.
Sure.
Which I think you have to understand, like that you may or may not see this guy. Like if the Phillies were up by 10 or down by 10, are you going to put a guy like that in just to get an inning when it has no impact on the game?
No, you're never guaranteed a specific player. I mean, how many times as a kid, going to Yankee Stadium and Mattingly wasn't in the lineup, or Reggie was given the day off. There's no rule that says that they're always going to play the day, the days that you go. You're allowed to be disappointed.
Listen, people tune into this podcast hoping to see Matt, and they don't always see that. And then they write us. They say, "Where is Matt?"
Sometimes they're disappointed when I don't show up.
Yeah, sometimes. Not often, but sometimes. All right. Well, Brian, a fantastic return episode.
Yes.
Again, so thankful to be back. # blessed. And blessed to be getting ready to do our Patreon After Dark episode in just roughly 23 minutes. If you're not part of Patreon, go to cultofronandbrian.com. Click in the upper right-hand corner. You join at the $10 a month level or higher, and you get live access to After Dark. We are just a week away from our pajama party next Sunday, where we have all of our Patreon subscribers come on, and we'll have is it time for Can You Beat Ron, or is it time for Can You Beat Brian? No, it's a Can You Beat Brian next week, I think.
This is a Can You Beat Brian, yes.
All right. Will we next week on the After Dark, will we watch you peel your sheets of skin off of your chest as the
I'm just red. This is not a burn. This does not feel like a burn. It's just red. It's just
a tan.
Red. It will go away.
Yeah, it'll go away.
It will go away, folks. Look at
that is wow. How does it feel? Like it must be like an inferno in your skin right now.
Honestly, it's not that bad. It's really not that bad. I've been trying this year to get a nice base of color, so it's red, but it's not bothering at all.
All right, fair enough. Anything else, Brian, before we wrap this up and get ready for After Dark?
I love you, buddy.
Love you too, my friend. Thanks to all for joining us. After Dark, folks, we will see you in a few minutes. Everybody else, we will see you next week.
Thank you for joining us for the latest episode of The Cult of Ron and Brian. A non-tax deductible contribution can be made by subscribing to our Patreon. Visit cultofronandbrian.com and click on Become a Patron. We'll see you again next week.